Hey friends, welcome back to the Mindful Classroom. I'm re-recording, as none of you would realize, because I was just about finished my last recording and realized I hadn't prepared and my phone was not on silent. So let that be a lesson to everybody. It interrupted the last activity, took my mind away, that it's important to prepare. It's important to be ready and do the things we need to do ahead to take those important steps so that we can get to a point where we're ready to go. There's no interruptions. So, once again, I am going to read from today's entry of the Daily Stoic. I thought it was a really good one. July 6th. Rise and shine. On those mornings you struggle with getting up, keep this thought in mind. I am awakening to the work of a human being. Why then am I annoyed that I'm going to do what I'm made for? The very things for which I was put into this world. Or was I made for this? To snuggle under the covers and keep warm. It's so pleasurable. Were you then made for pleasure? In short, to be coddled? Or to exert yourself? Marcus Aurelius, Meditation 5.1. It's comforting to think that even 2,000 years ago, the Emperor of Rome, who was reportedly a bit of an insomniac, was giving himself a pep talk in order to summon up the willpower to throw the blankets off each morning and get out of bed. From the time we're first sent off to school until we retire, we're faced with that same struggle. It'd be nicer to shut our eyes and hit the snooze button a few more times, but we can't because we have a job to do. Not only do we have the calling we've dedicated ourselves to, but we have the larger cause that the Stoics speak about, the greater good. We cannot be of service to ourselves, to other people, or to the world unless we get up and get working. The earlier, the better. So come on, get in the shower, have your coffee, and get going. I thought of that because I've listened to so many people talk about this July 4th week into weekend. So Tuesday through today, Saturday, and how it is the busiest we have ever seen the Cape May area and the surrounding areas, most likely. And obviously, with that business, puts a great demand of those of us who are a part of the service industry because our hours are longer, the time we're there is more stressful, it's harder to stay on top of what we need to do. But in many ways, this is what we signed up for. If you're in the service industry, we signed up to help the people who are coming down on vacation to have the greatest time possible. And does that mean that sometimes some of those people will be less than perfect? We get cranky people. We get people who are expecting more than we can ever give them. But it's our choice if they're the people we focus on. Because if we look around, we also get some wonderful people, some thankful people, some grateful people, and most likely some families for whom we are making amazing memories that will last forever. So perspective is an important piece of this puzzle. It's important for us to keep a perspective on what's happening around us. And we're in that hole now. So if you live in this area, you know what that means, that from July 4th through Labor Day, most likely a few weeks beyond Labor Day, it is the nonstop vacation season. Every week will be as busy as the last. So it's a mindset that we need to do the rise and shine. What we were told in Marcus Aurelius's passage, that it would be easy to lay back and not put the work in. But this is that grind time that we need to make happen. And we need to realize ultimately it's why we signed up for this. Because all of this work brings the greatest monetary rewards. It brings us the greatest chance to engage with people, see them smile, see them have a great time, and everybody in the end wins. Now, with that stress comes frustration, comes that overwhelmed feeling. And it's interesting because I just had this conversation with one of my coaching clients in a call this morning. And obviously, a deep meditation practice really helps in getting through some of those overwhelmed times. However, if you don't have a strong enough practice, and even if you do, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes when you're the most overwhelmed, it makes it impossible to focus, to go on that single focus, whether it's on our breathing, whether it's on a gratitude, whether it's a meta practice, but to turn off all of those negative interior voices that are shouting us down and making us feel like we can't accomplish anything, we can't move on, and we can't get through this. So in those times, sometimes it's helpful to have very little quick, strong sessions that can help take away from some of that overwhelmed. So today, I'm going to bring up two quick things that you can do, and they help remarkably. So the first one is the idea of grab a piece of paper and a pencil. And when you are feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, sit down by yourself, take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and then take that pencil and just allow yourself to do a brain dump. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about your spelling. Don't worry about the coherence. And you can do this as a list, as a diagram, as a scattergram, but just write down everything that's on your mind, no matter how silly it seems or how serious it seems. Put it all down on paper. Now, that first step is often enough to stop that overwhelmed feeling. However, a second step can help you even more. So you've gotten everything down, and now comes the reflexive stage. Look at that list. Cross out the things on that list that are completely out of your control. So the weather, your significant other's opinion, or your significant other's mother's opinion of you, your boss's attitude, that customer that came in miserable and just stayed miserable throughout their time and left miserable, no matter what you did or tried to do to make up for it. Those things are completely out of our control. Then you can look at some of the things that are possibly out of your control. For instance, as a teacher, my students' home life is out of my control. And maybe they're acting out because of the trauma they bring to the classroom is out of my control. But I can reframe that to saying, while those things are out of my control, I can set up a boundary and I can set up a method for that student with my help to regulate their emotions so that they behave better in the classroom. And it can be anything like that. You can reframe some of these things into, while one specific part may be out of your control, this is how I can modify it so I can possibly make it better moving forward. And then just rip that paper up and let it go. But the idea is to get all of those overwhelmed feelings outside of you. The other method you could do, especially if you're somewhere that it's inconvenient to stop and write and jot everything down, is a box breathing method. And you may have heard that method. It's a very straightforward, very simple thing, but you're going to work on a count of 5. You can even visualize a box with your finger as you're doing it. So I'll count and do that. So you're going to breathe in for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And repeat that for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you have the time to do. The nice thing about that is you can do this in the presence of other people and they're not even aware that it's happening because you're just going through that breath motion. So if we think about it right now, sit where you are, back straight, since we can take some time. And we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repeat. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. One last time. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can repeat that for a minute, like I said, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, even 5 minutes. But that does two things. One, it takes your mind off of everything that has been overwhelming you and plaguing you, and it really asks you to focus on the process of your breath. The in breath, the between moment, the out breath, the between moment, as that goes. The 5 count also slows your breath down. And as our breath slows down, our body regulates and calms down. You'll notice this when you're getting excited and you're getting frustrated. Your breath, first of all, shifts from your belly up into the high lungs, and you breathe very quickly and very nervously. When you can slow down, it helps to calm your body and regulate your body. So as you go through, if you live in the South Jersey area or any beach resort area, the craziest time between now and Labor Day, I hope those two methods help you out a little bit. But at the same time, realize we're here to push ourselves. We're here for a purpose. And if you are true to your purpose and you know your purpose, and even if it's not your life's purpose, if it's what you've chosen for the moment, then it's your choice and purpose now. Make the most of it. Don't focus on those horrible people. I've spoken to a lot of younger people, servers, bartenders, and my advice to them is always very simple. That person who's sitting with you and is an absolute miserable ass for 45 minutes or so, they walk around with themselves for a lifetime being like that. So you have a choice. You can either take that and make it ruin you and you can act like them, or you can realize that they're just a passing moment in your life or in your night, and they're going to leave, and your attitude gets to improve and lighten up, but they're going to take the misery with them. So, on that note, have an amazing day. I hope everybody survives this crazy holiday weekend, and drop me a note at the end. Let me know what you think, what works, what doesn't work, what I can work on, what you'd like to hear. I plan on seeing this keep going and growing. It might take a little while, but I'm in it for the long haul. Thanks all. Peace, and have a great life.